While I may not be an expert in relationships, I haven't even been in one officially, I have dabbled in a romance or two, okay? Or 4, if you count my little big planet boyfriend from middle school.
Nope.
Or 5, if you count my movie star planet boyfriend from elementary school, who I'm almost positive was a groomer. And I'm not talking about the pet one.
Police! Help! Police! Help!
Today, I'm going to share a story time about a very short-lived romance. And I'm not talking about the MSP one, I'm talking about one that happened in real life. And if this experience has taught me anything, it's that there is literally no reason to rush a relationship no matter how bad you want one. And it also taught me to never date men from Seattle. Just kidding, I'm kidding, sorta.
Oh my god!
Let's call this guy Bob. Okay, Bob and I met at Wild Waves, which for those of y'all that don't know, that's like Washington State's only outdoor amusement park, because there's not really much going on around here. I went with a group, like it was me and 2 other people. We were about to ride the roller coaster that like goes on a loop-de-loop, and because the seats were only like 2 per person, I was like, okay, I'll just ride by myself. So Bob approaches me, he comes up to me and he's like, hey, do you mind if I ride this ride with you? I was like, he's kind of cute, so like, sure, why not? I was like, yeah, you can ride with me. And we get in the roller coaster and he's like, oh, I'm so nervous, it's my first time riding this ride, like, do you mind if we hold hands? Can we hold hands? And I was like, sure, like, why not, whatever. Whatever, hold my hand. It sounds super corny even saying it out loud, but like, it was cute at the time, like, it was giving very Hallmark. It's gonna get worse, but like, don't leave yet. So afterwards, we ride the roller coaster and he asked me for my Snapchat, okay? So we're just texting for like a week and we make plans to hang out officially. And I'm just gonna be really honest, I was down horrendously for this man. Like, I wanted him. I wanted him bad because he had a Levi haircut. I'm just gonna be honest, like, he had a Levi haircut. And for those of y'all that aren't new to the channel, like, you know how I feel about Levi, okay? That man has me in a chokehold. Like, he could literally, like...
2 fingers are all I need to get the job done.
You get the gist. He had a Levi haircut, and that was enough for me. And also at the time, I was just desperate. If any attractive man would give me like an ounce of attention, like we could make eye contact, and that would be enough for me. Like, I would be like, oh, he just struck gold. Because it didn't happen often. Like, a guy approaching me was not the norm. I just hacked up the most disgusting freaking loogie. Anyways, before we hang out, he makes it very clear to me. He's like, hey, just so you know, I'm not looking for a relationship right now, but I'm cool to be undefined. So by that, he was like we can flirt and stuff, but like, I don't want you to be my girlfriend.
What?
But at the time, I had this like really sick mindset of like, I'm in my do it for the plot era. I'm doing it for the plot. I don't care if he just wants to use me and just talk to me for funsies and not actually take me seriously. I don't care. I'm doing it for the plot, which is like so stupid. I know I was not like happy with the terms of our friendship. I was young and naive, which could also translate to dumb and naive, but I don't think I was dumb. I really do think I was just desperate. But I was 20 at the time, and like, I'd never even really kissed a guy yet. Like, I'd never even had my first kiss, unless you count the time I was 8 years old, but I don't really count that. And also, it wasn't really a kiss, it was mostly just teeth. I was just in such a rush to like experience things that I know everyone else in my life was experiencing. All my peers, all my friends, like everybody else had had their first everything. So I was like, I need to have my first everything with this guy.
I would try it. I mean, if everybody else was. I'm adventurous.
But here's when it gets a little complicated, okay? Within 48 hours of coming to see me, he gets in a car crash. And he had never been in a car crash before ever in his life. And it wasn't that bad of a crash. Like, his door was scratched, his paint was scratched, whatever. For those of y'all that watched my other video on the worst date of my life, it felt like I was being warned to not see that guy in that story time. But I saw him anyway, and then I ended up getting played. So it felt like in this circumstance, in this situation with Bob, I was like, the universe was saying to me, okay, well, bitch, since you weren't gonna listen the last time when I tried to keep you from the guy, I'm just gonna keep the guy away from you. Like, I'm just gonna try to protect your peace, and I'm not gonna let him see you. But I was like, nah, f my peace, like, f the peace. Like, I'm doing it for the plot this year.
We are going to pretend we didn't hear that.
Eventually, he did make it out of his way, like he did make it out to see me after his car got fixed and whatever. And I literally felt no spark for this man. I felt nothing for this guy. I felt not a cinch, not an inch of a spark. Like, I literally was like, oh, this is just a friend. He did not like me either, but at the end of the hangout, I was like, can we kiss? Can we kiss? I asked him if we could kiss, and it was the worst fucking kiss of my life. I'm gonna act it out for you, okay? I'm gonna act out how he kissed me. This hand is him. He grabbed me by my neck, pulls me in, and he's like this. I can't make this up! I can't make this up. It felt like a violation.
Open your mouth.
Like, I did not even know how to react afterwards. I literally was like, thank you. I just thanked him. Who says thank you after a first kiss? I don't know, but I was shocked. I was too stunned to speak. I said, thank you.
Grandma not mad. Grandma just hurt. I'm hurt. I am hurt.
We get out the car to say goodbye, and I was like, can we kiss one more time? Why would I say that? I know, that's literally what you're thinking. Why would you say that, you dumb bitch? My mind was like, okay, maybe the first kiss was just a fluke. You know, some people are like, oh, the first time is like not the best time. First kisses are always awkward. So I was like, maybe the second time I'll actually feel something for this man.
Huh?
Past his hair.
Stop it! Denial is a river in Egypt!
So he's like, oh yeah, let's kiss. He opens his mouth again. I said, mouth closed this time. Why would I say that? That's so awkward. Like, that's so insane to say. Asking for a second kiss after you didn't like the first one and then asking them to close their mouth is insane. But he closed his mouth and then we kissed again. And again, I felt nothing. And then he went home. And I was like, I don't feel anything. Like, we just weren't compatible. I'm sure there's a lot of people that like to start a kiss with their mouth wide open, but I like to ease into it, and he just likes to like, A couple days later, I was like, do you want to get a hotel? And he was like, yeah. He was like, yeah. And then I got scared. I was like, but like, we don't have to do anything in the hotel. But why would you get a hotel if you're not going to do anything? I just want to say that before you guys come in the comment like, you stupid mother. I didn't get a hotel with him. I did not get a hotel with him. Because during that same week, I ended up meeting my ex-situationship, who I've mentioned on the channel like 1,000 times, right? When I met my ex-situationship, it kind of like snapped me into reality. I was like, what am I doing with Bob? Like, I don't even like Bob. Why would I get a hotel with Bob? I don't even know Bob. And so I reached out to Bob and I was like, hey, like, I would actually just prefer if we actually be friends. Like, let's just be friends. I don't want to get a hotel with you. I don't want to flirt anymore. Like, we could just be chill. We could be cool. And he was like, oh yeah, that's fine. We can be friends. So at this point, I'm seeing somebody new. Bob and I are cool. But then, you know those like cliche texts that guys send where they're like, oh, what's your favorite color? And you're like, oh, my favorite color is blue. And they're like, oh, nice. Wanna bang? Or like, oh, what color are your panties? Like, you know, those like, they don't care what your favorite color is. They just want to talk nasty to you. That was the type of text that Bob sent me. But like, his wanna bang text was like very descriptive. Like, it was giving walk past. And I said, you're making me uncomfortable. Like, absolutely not. No. He's like, oh, like, I'm sorry, that wasn't me. It was my depression, and like, I'm very depressed and stuff. Like, I don't do like stuff like that. That was so out of character for me.
Yeah, right.
I wasn't gonna dismiss his mental health concerns, but I did, you know, wish him all the best and delete him off every single thing I had him on, because I was like, yeah, no, this is insane. And all of this happened within the span of like 2 months. And that, angels, is how I almost participated in hookup culture, but failed. I wouldn't even say I failed. Like, I low-key kind of won, because if I had met up with that man in a hotel, I fear this channel would never exist. I fear I would have just turned into a loser. And if you participate in hookup culture, that's fine. If you like hookup culture, whatever. But I don't like hookup culture. So to participate in something that I don't like because of desperation is like, you're a loser. I think the moral of the story is to do as I say, okay? Not as I did, because I would never do stuff like that now. And what I say is, if the universe is sending you warnings in the forms of a literal car crash, maybe listen. Maybe don't like settle out of desperation for a person that you don't even like. I think it's really easy to feel like you're falling behind when everyone around you is like dating, they're in relationships, they're getting engaged, and you're just here. You know, you're just here. So when one person shows interest in you, you might be like, oh, this is so rare. Even if they're not right for you, you might convince yourself that like, this is better than nothing, because I have to play catch up and catch up to everybody else around me. You know what I mean?
Well, he doesn't look like a typical prince, but I guess that's okay.
But what I've learned is that there is literally no deadline. There's no deadline to when you need to get into a relationship. And if all you do is try to rush your experiences, you're just gonna end up in experiences that make you feel empty and unhappy. Because take me, like, I was never really into Bob, okay? I was never into Bob. I was just into the idea of not being alone, because I thought at the time that being alone meant that I was lonely, and so I felt like I had to fill a void. But I'm almost 23. By the time I'm filming this, it's February 4th. I turned 23 in 10 days, and I am far from lonely. Like, I'm actually very happy, and after I film this video, I'm gonna get ready to take myself out on a little movie date, because I don't need anybody to fill a void, and I can do things alone, and I am happy doing it. If you are in the same boat, if you are also single and you're waiting, then like, give yourself a pat on the back, because that just means that you are willing to wait for a relationship that actually makes sense. You're willing to wait for somebody that is compatible and aligned with you, instead of just settling because you feel like you're lacking, like you're in a lack poverty mindset. But instead you're like in an abundance mindset, and you're also like, I can be happy by myself, not by your lonesome, because you're not lonely, you're just by yourself, and that's okay. And it also just means that you are not forcing something that isn't right for you, and that is a good thing. Trust me. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, prove it by giving it a thumbs up, and leave a comment below letting me know if you have your own personal bad hookup or hookup culture story, or give your take on hookup culture. Let me know, because I'm nosy and I want to know. So yeah. Bye! At Wild Waves, he was like, so what kind of car do you drive? And you know the type of people that like ask you a question because they only want you to ask them the same question back? Like, they don't care about your answer, they just want you to be like, oh, what about you? Because I was like, oh, I drive a blah blah blah, and then he was like, oh, that's cool, I drive a Benz. So he was either a Benz or a BMW, and I was just thinking, we do not care. I don't care about cars, I don't give a shit about cars. But I was just like, oh, cool. I don't care about your car, I care about your hair. Both shallow reasons, but like, look how big my arms are. I need to get back in the gym.